Brier Island is a small island located at the mouth of the Bay of Fundy in Nova Scotia, Canada. With a population of approximately 200 persons, many of the residents fish for lobster and/or work in tourism-based businesses such as whale watching, dining, and lodging. It has one of the most unique and sensitive ecosystems to be found along the entire Atlantic coast. A growing population of more than 300 gray seals live on its shoreline rocks, islands, and ledges. Atlantic Canada's gray seal population was nearly wiped out in the late 1800s after being heavily hunted for their oil and hides. By 1960, the entire population of seals had been drastically reduced and numbered about 8,000 gray seals. Now flash forward to 2023 and it's like you're on a different planet. Gray seal numbers are nearing a stunning 500,000 animals along the coast and the Gulf of St. Lawrence. It is an animal explosion of mind-boggling proportions, with Nova Scotia's Sable Island being the largest gray seal breeding site on the continent, where 400,000 of the total population reside. With the increase in seals comes an increase in the number of sightings of great white sharks, which target the seals as their favorite food. So get ready to see and hear more about reports concerning shark-seal, shark-human, and seal-fisherman conflicts along our coastal waters. This is a panoramic view of Pond Cove Beach with a large seal rookery or breeding area found about a mile offshore on Gull Rock and Green Island. You can just see these locations as specks of land in the far distance. This is where my general observations show that most of the shark attacks occur on Brier Island, judging by the seal carcasses that drift ashore and their proximity to this rookery. Dear good friend John Schwinghammer and his dog Millie look over the remains of a large dead gray seal at Pond Cove. The seal had a huge chunk out of its left side where a great white attacked it. There were a number of large 2 to 4 inch long deep slashes on the hide and body of the seal from the shark's teeth. The seal looked like a female or a cow, judging by its size, the coloring of its hide, and its less pronounced nose. Males or bulls are more likely to be black than the lighter colored females. They also have a noticeably arched Roman nose compared with the straighter outline of the female's nose. Male gray seals are locally known as horseheads because their head looks similar to a horse's head. This seal I observed swimming unusually close to the shoreline, about 30 feet offshore. I found this behavior very unusual, as grays tend to stay away from humans and will dive or move off if approached too closely. As it struggled to fight the incoming waves, I noticed a large open gash across a good part of its back. This was the reason for its unusual behavior. This seal was attacked by a shark and survived. I thought maybe a boat propeller had cut it, but I felt that highly unlikely because you rarely see boats out on our water before the lobster season gets underway at the end of November. You don't normally get pleasure boaters off of Brier Island as the waters are so treacherous. The following day, I went back to the cove to see what had happened to the wounded seal, and I found it dead on the shoreline, buried under a thick layer of kelp that had drifted in overnight. The small part of the seal that I could see showed some nasty teeth marks and large tears in the animal's hide. I couldn't get a clearer look at the entire animal as it was buried so deep under the kelp. I visited Pond Cove 5 days later to see the same seal stretched out on the beach. As the photos show, the seal had lost most of its upper and lower back and midsection. The seal had been picked over by numerous scavengers as it laid spread out on the beach. It is not my intent to gross anyone out by showing such dramatic images, but this is the reality of the wild sea, and I felt it important that I showed the good, the bad, and the ugly of what happens below the waves. If you look closely at the accompanying photo, you will see teeth marks from the shark on the seal's lower tail region. This means the shark not only attacked the seal from the mid and rear section, but it also grabbed at the end of the seal's tail. That would mean at least 2 or 3 major strikes were made by the shark in this attack, which mortally wounded the seal. A few weeks later, and all that remains of the seal is a gathering of bones and hide, but even that continues to feed other animals like field mice, coyotes, and foxes, who gnaw the bones for the minerals they contain or for fragments of flesh. There are 3 seals in these 2 photos. The seal in the middle has an open wound on its back, but it's difficult to make out whether it is from a shark attack or another seal, as bull seals are very aggressive and are known to be very defensive of their turf. But this looks quite different. It's large and deep for a seal fight. I would guess another shark attack. This series of photographs shows a group of bull seals hauled out on their rocky domain on Gull Rock. The bull in the middle shows some horrific scars on its lower back area from what is most likely an attack by a great white. You can see the marks showing the entire dental print bit right into the seal's hide, as well as another large scar to the right of this scar. Both wounds have miraculously healed, a testament to the resilience and strength for survival of the seal. The following photo shows the same group of bulls after they repositioned themselves. You can see the seal on the far left also has some major scarring on its lower right side that extend up onto its back. There are not many sharks that frequent the North Atlantic that are big enough and powerful enough to take on a 900-pound gray seal. It is the shark that wants to kill the seal as fast as possible to prevent it from being injured in the struggle with the seal. Now here is something you don't see every day. Snowy owls migrate south from their summer nesting grounds in the Arctic in early winter. Most migrate through the interior, but many head south along the coast where they hunt the grasslands and fields of the islands and shorelines. When a shark-killed seal ends up on the shore, it not only feeds the shark, but the carcass will feed numerous other creatures, saving some on the verge of starvation. Scavenging can mean the difference between life and death. If the weather brings freezing rain and heavy downpours for extended period, many of the owls will not survive the migration, especially birds born that spring. It may not seem fair to most readers, but this is the way it has always been and has to be. This is why we must protect the great white and other top predators, as they are a vital link in the ecosystem structure and dynamics. I love turkey vultures. Their presence is integral in nature, just like sharks and seals. The vultures in this video are eating one of two dead seals, both shark kills, washed upon the Pond Cove beach. These scavengers have a very in-depth social structure, and even though they may seem disgusting to some, they always allow the young of the year to feed first, then the adults will eat. Brier Island is the whale watch capital of Canada's maritime provinces. This dead adult humpback washed up on the Brier Island in August of 2018. Before reaching shore, the dead whale was scavenged upon by sharks, and judging by the size of some of the bites, great whites. When feeding on a dead whale floating in the sea, the shark will continually feed on the animal till it is content, and this could go on for days. The sharks ate a large section of the mid-back dorsal area and other parts of the whale. The bites are clearly identifiable. There were also chunks of flesh and blubber torn off the flipper and belly area. I hope you have enjoyed my video, and please help protect our oceans.